All right, we're on. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Tales of the Cocktail 2020. Very exciting conversation to be had today, and definitely appropriate timing for so many reasons. We have a series of bar recovery sessions that are happening throughout Tales of the Cocktail this week, all available on demand as recordings. So please do, regardless of what region you're in, whether it's the Middle East, it's Asia, Australia, or Europe, please do join these discussions, and maybe there will be some topics, best practices, and concepts from some of our amazing panelists in all of the sessions that will help to inform some next steps in your businesses and inspire some new innovative ways to head on through the uncertainty of today's food and beverage industry. My name is Lorincz. I'm the Diageo Reserve and World-Class Global Cocktailian, and I'm delighted to be moderating this panel today, Bar Recovery Europe, the Back to Business 12-month plan, with some incredible business owners and astute, wonderful humans that are really leading the way in our industry here in Europe and beyond. And I would just love to go through each of their bios quickly to give them some time in the spotlight, and then they're going to carry on with sharing great presentations with some opportunities for you to take screenshots, but not to worry. If you have questions, send them through, and we will make the entire presentation of slides available for everyone to download and use. Each of our amazing panelists have offered of course, their Instagram handles to send a direct message, but also their email addresses if you wish to follow up on something you've heard, or if you have questions, or if they can be of service in any other way. And of course, same goes for me. So we will jump right in with our bios. So starting with, I don't know where he appears on your screen, but the beautiful human, Deano Moncrieffe, where is he? He's down here for me. Deano is the master of all things agave. There's nobody on this planet, and I'm willing to take bets on this, that knows more about agave spirits, tequila, mezcal, and the entire category, and what it means to live that agave life more than Deano. He's a former agave ambassador for Diageo and running our tequila ambassador teams across Europe. And his amazing love for agave spirits has carried on with the opening of his business in London called Hatcha, which is an incredible bar, and has a really innovative way of serving and delivering the education and flavors of the agave category. And just an all-around great human who's got some great ideas for everyone to share today on his business recovery plan. So welcome, Deano.
Thank you. Welcome to everyone for joining.
Yeah. And next up, not sure where on your screen, but Tess is over here for me. And Tess is coming to you live from her new bar, Dutch Courage, in the center in Amsterdam. Tess has been a bartender for a long time, and she owns many businesses, including Flying Dutchman Cocktails, which was her first bar that she opened almost 3 years ago with business partner and another legendary bartender, Timo Janse. And where she is right now is the new bar, Dutch Courage, which opened 2 months ago, a month and a half ago. And yeah. And Tess is also an acclaimed author. She's authored 2 books that you may have seen, one on cocktails at home and another on the history and wonderful category of Geneva. And she's also an award-winning bartender, having worked at some iconic bars like Door 74, but joined me at World Class in South Africa in 2015, and that's where we met and became really close friends. But she's got some great ideas and things to share based on her experiences in the business recovery in the Netherlands. So welcome, Tess.
Thank you.
Nice bar.
Thanks. It's our newest baby. It's quite proud of it.
Next up, down here, we have Erik. Erik has a very long title on his recording box, but he's no stranger to being involved in many businesses. After being the longtime head bartender at the American Bar at the Savoy in London, leading the team to World's Best Bar. He's also the World Class Bartender of the Year Global winner from 2010. But he now owns his own bar in London called Quaint, which is a beautiful space in a downstairs area in the center of London, and it's a stunning bar doing beautiful things. And he also owns another bar in Bratislava in Slovakia called the Antique American Bar. But we're really thrilled to have Erik here, and I think his insights not only from London but also from abroad and what's happening in Eastern Europe will be wonderful to share with everybody. So thanks for being here, Erik.
No, it's absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And I'm flipping my pages. I don't want to miss anybody, you know, or anything that's important. So next on the very bottom of my screen, we have the duo from Salmon Guru in Madrid, but they're not moving. So I'm not sure if they're frozen or not. Maybe. Are you frozen? Diego and Melanie?
We are here, but
okay, well, I'm going to introduce them anyway, and I'll just take my time and hopefully they unfreeze. Maybe try turning your camera on and off and coming back in. Diego Cabrera, who is on one side of the Salmon Guru screen, is the co-founder of Salmon Guru from 2016. They're currently on the world's 50 best bar list at number 19. He's also won many accolades and probably one of the most famous bartenders in Spain, if not in Europe. He was awarded as Spain's best cocktail professional by the Royal Academy of Gastronomy and has multiple businesses and multiple branches to the Salmon Guru family that have been helping their business through these difficult times. And so hopefully they'll be able to inspire some more for us as we carry on. I think they're still figuring it out. Okay. I'm going to carry on with my last bio and then we will sort it out. And then lastly, to Diego's right on the screen, we have Melanie de Conceicao, and she's also part of the Salmon Guru team. She's a longtime bartender, having grown up in Caracas, Venezuela, and then lived in Australia and other parts of the world. And I'm just going to mute them just for now.
Okay.
No, I'm not going to mute them. They're just going to keep going. Okay, hold on. There we go. She's been part of the Salmon Guru family since 2017 and feels a really deep connection to hospitality and the way of working in Europe and beyond. So it's wonderful to have them both here. And I know they're having some technical issues. So if you can hear me, I would just exit the meeting and then come back in. Luckily, you're going out second, so you have some time. All right. Okay. So I think we are good now, and we're going to carry on to our first presenter over to Deano, and I'm going to go on mute and share screen, and then just let me know where you would like me to shift the slides, and I am here for you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Okie dokie. All right. Well, it's really great to be part of this discussion with so many amazing colleagues, and I think that obviously what we're going to share is, you know, very different, but the similarities and the challenges that we face are all the same, right? You know, we're trying to keep our businesses alive and going in a really challenging time. So with that in mind, what the approach that we took at ACCHA was to really think carefully about what we were going to do before we opened our doors. You know, we were very conscious of the fact that if we open our doors and our customers don't feel confident, or they don't feel safe and they don't feel secure in the environment that we created, we risked losing them from the very start. So what we decided to do was spend a few weeks just doing a lot of research, as it says on this slide here. So we researched the best execution of COVID-19 safe establishments post-lockdown. And we used a very large cross-section. I used my supervisor to and a general manager to go out to various different establishments, all completely different, to have a look, to see what was going on, to make very detailed notes. I gave a very detailed checklist of everything that we wanted to look at. So it was, you know, the things that I've mentioned here, you know, what measures had been put in place that actually sort of, you know, were improving the service, that could be, you know, something that would continue way after, you know, people had felt more comfortable to come back. And, you know, what were the costs? What were the, you know, what was the environment like? Did you feel that people were comfortable when you went in there? Did you feel comfortable when you went in there? All of these things, you know, and how seriously, and I guess more importantly, how seriously were establishments taking you know, the responsibilities that they had to really make sure that people felt secure. So that was the first phase of it in phase one. The next slide, please. So phase two. So once we had all of that research, as I mentioned, the key thing for us then was to actually, you know, think about opening. How do we open? What are we going to do? What are we going to put in place? So we built this phase two, which lasted for probably about a week, I guess. We spent time looking at the research, getting the feedback from the manager who went to the various different bars, and myself as well went to visit a few different venues. Then we put that together with the government guidelines that we shared, and also most importantly, have some colleagues who work in higher volume venues with a bit more financial backing that we have, because we're a small independent bar. And I wanted to see what they were doing, you know, what guidelines they were putting in place, because that was really important to us to understand 3 different pillars to be able to build our plan moving forward. So we used the manager research, the government guidelines, and the insight that was gained from colleagues who run multi-site venues and bigger venues, and we put those together to create the 12-month plan, which we'll come to in a second. The most important thing for us was during lockdown, we were fortunate enough to have an award-winning cocktail, which you can see on the slide here, which is called a Mirror Margarita. Back in December, we'd already bottled it. We were ready to, you know, to help sort of push our sales through December. So we were using it as a sort of great gifting opportunity. So people buying it for presents for their loved ones and for families and friends, etc. So we already had that ready to go once the lockdown happened. And this was something that helped sustain our business while we were closed. So what we wanted to do was make sure that whatever we did once we reopened actually included driving and continue to drive the online shop sales, because they were key to us being open, being able to reopen. And it was also very much in the back of our minds that if our revenue is down, this will be an additional revenue stream for us. So we wanted to make sure that continued all the way through. That was the main ambition for us in the first quarter. So let's go to the first. Yes, so the first month, as I say, we opened on the 1st of August. We took all of that research, and I'm not going to go through everything word for word, because obviously the slides should be made available for you after, or you can reach out for me directly if you prefer after. But you know, it's the key things, you know, making sure that the tables were correctly spaced apart. We went from beautiful menus that were actually made from agave. We had agave string and pineapple pulp menus in our brand colors that were absolutely fantastic. We had to get rid of those because of reducing the amount of contact that people, you know, cross-contamination potential. So we went digital. We have QR codes, track and trace, as I say, the digital menus. And then we also upped the amount of time that we spent cleaning, daily temperature checks for all of our staff. You know, we had a lot of notices around to make sure people felt secure, sanitize the stations everywhere. So this was really important. And obviously in month 1, this was all about just learning how to implement all of these new operating procedures that we had safely, effectively, and so that it didn't affect the speed of service. So that was a real challenge, and we just spent the whole month just, you know, really making sure that we nailed what we were doing. As we progressed on month 2 and 3, this was really about now starting to re-engage with our customers and just helping them to understand that, you know, there is a reason to be back here. So we're doing, you know, new photo shoots of cocktail menu, increasing we have a great kitchen partners. So we wanted to sort of highlight the great new food that they were, you know, that they were doing as well. So that was really key for us. So also, you know, then as it was safe to do, we wanted to have an event which would showcase what we do, which is specialised in agave spirits. So we had a very, very safe event called, it was a mezcal masterclass essentially. And then what we also did was partnered with independent brands to drive awareness around cocktail delivery service. And that actually helps us once we start talking about cocktail deliveries, we can also mention what we're doing with our Mirror Margarita cocktail, but also created specific new bespoke cocktails for a online platform called the Drinks Drop. Month 3, which will be October, we're going to be partnering with London Cocktail Week, which is now a month. We've got a new disruptive serve that's going to be going on our menu, again, giving our customers a reason to keep coming back, to keep discovering something new. And then month 4, we're going to launch a new menu, which is going to be sort of focused on seasonality. And then obviously, as we're getting closer to Christmas, it's going to drive a little bit more awareness around the bottle cocktails again. And we've got a new Mirror Margarita, which is a clementine or clementine and walnut Mirror Margarita, which we're going to be launching with obviously Christmas flavors. So that's coming out. We're going to really push that and try and get people excited about, what we're doing. And then obviously around this point, this is the key moment for us to assess how everything is going. What are the sales been like year on year? What are the online shop sales like? Because we've really opened up our online platform to have a lot more stuff in there than just the Mirror Margarita. We do flights as well, which are available for people to, 3 different spirits with tasting notes and pairings that people can do at home. So we really want to make sure that that is something that we are still doing and checking how successful that's been. Month 5, we're going to re-engage with our PR company to drive awareness around more brand awareness, again, giving people a reason to believe in what we're doing and giving them something new to be excited about. So that's the plan for the first half of the year. If we move on to the final slide. So month 6 and month 7, really for month 6, we're quite fortunate in the fact that what we do at Atcha is very specialized. We specialize in agave spirits. So one of the things that we're really keen to do is to use Mexican dates as an opportunity for us to engage with our customers. So Margarita Day is February 22nd. So we have got a very, very exciting event, which we'll start pushing and promoting before that, which is we're going to reimagine a margarita in a way that's, I believe, has never been done before. And it's something that I'm really excited about, which I can't share too much about now, but I will definitely be posting about that and using our PR company to help amplify that. Again, month 7, try and do something new, think about what we can do. So we're going to explore more possibilities around launching cocktails to go with a food partner so that people can experience Atcha at home. The complete experience that you'd get if you were in our bar. We want people to experience that. So again, something completely different and something new. And month 8, that's hopefully we're bringing a new kitchen partner. We've got great ideas around what we want to do. We always want to keep refreshing what we do. So we're going to bring in a new kitchen partner, which will time with the change of seasons. And then again, month 9, you can see here that we'll be launching a new seasonal, a few seasonal variations of the cocktails that we have. And then we were unfortunately, we weren't able to celebrate the first year of us being open because that happened during lockdown. So we're going to have a first and second birthday party rolled into one in month 10, which hopefully will be a lot of fun. Month 11, again, one of the things that we're really keen to do at Atcha is always give our customers the best possible experience that they can have with agave spirits. So last year we ran a competition, an independent competition open to all bartenders and all brands to find the best tequila cocktail in the UK. So we're going to redo that competition and we're going to hopefully launch it and make it European wide. But that is something that we're really keen to do. Again, we ended up having over 100 people submitting cocktails for that competition that we did last year. It was a great success. It was judged by a lot of national press and media. So we're going to look to do that again, giving something new. And also we had our customers involved in that as they were part of the judging panel as well. And then month 12, you can see there's a little photo down here. We really need the outside space to be a lot bigger than it is for us. I know that certain areas within the city centre in London were able to utilise their outside seating space a lot more, but we were really restricted. So that's something that we're going to look to approach the local council about to help improve that. So that is a very robust plan. Obviously, things are subject to change because the goalposts, as we say, are moving constantly because of government guidelines. But we just want to try and have this this framework, a template, in place, so that we can use that as I guess a really good thing to enable us to pivot from. So that's me. Yeah. Oh, it's not me just yet, because there's one other thing to mention. I get to just sort of trying to summarize everything. So how would I put all of that together? So I think the thought process that we had was that we needed to redesign our guest experience at every single touch point to give our customer the ultimate confidence that we care about them, right? It's not just a monetary thing. That I think our customers need to feel safe, they need to feel secure, and this is something that we took really seriously. So from takeout to in-venue experience, your customers need to know that you're flexible, that you're adaptable, that you're always working hard to find new ways for them to enjoy your brand. I think that's the way that we try and think of things. So that's it.
Deano, you're always the legend to open up these sessions, because I think for a lot of people, they're not sure what the next 12 months looks like. And I think your plans are working on the micro ambitions and the things that you can look forward to in 1 or 2 months, and trying to navigate how that could expand over, the 12-month period. A saying that I heard from somebody during lockdown is, I'm a short-term pessimist, but a long-term optimist.
Yeah.
And I think it's, you just try your best to deal with the things as they come, but you have these big plans as things start to open up. But I think the way you've laid it out is going to be very, very helpful for people. So thank you for taking so much time and putting that together and walking us through it.
No, you're welcome. I hope it does help.
Yes, 100%. And I think we're going to switch gears and head over to Madrid now with Diego and Melanie. If they are good, if you start your camera, you let me know. Okay. Oh.
Okay, we'll do it. Just a couple of minutes.
It's the internet. You're trying to find the hotspot somewhere in the bar.
Yeah, I think is it fine now?
We can see you and we can hear you. Yeah.
You can hear us. Okay, perfect.
Can you see the screen?
Okay. I can see the slides, the first one with the logo and all the stuff up there.
Okay, perfect. Well, I will hand it over to both of you. I see Diego is still propping things up with glassware and things, which is okay. You can take a moment.
Maybe we can do last, so we can just figure out how to put everything on. So I'm just gonna stop I'm gonna mute myself, okay?
Okay, no problem. Erik, you are up.
Absolutely, I'm here, ready to go.
Here and ready to go. Okay, here we go.
Yeah. So I must say, Deano, that was fantastic. I think you should fix the Brexit deal as well, because what you've done here, that was amazing and very impressed. And I'm very glad that Hacha is back. I still have to come and see you. I know I'm in London, we're very close to each other, but I still haven't been to your beautiful bar, but only hearing great things. So I'm looking forward to see that.
Thank you, Brandon.
Into my recovery plan, I would say that I started thinking about the recovery plan the moment when the whole thing kicked off and become quite a serious issue that we entered a very uncertain period. And the way how it started was that bars had to close down, and that's where I think the whole thing become pretty intense, that some people started panicking and started firing stuff. And then I thought, no, this is not right. I just don't want to let my amazing team, we are a small team on the 6 plus myself, but I worked so hard on this, and I just I cannot let these guys go and lose what I built. So first thing what I've done was I tried to reduce the hours because the business just went so down that when the government announced do not go out, however, they didn't give us anything, any support. So we stayed open as long as we could. So first thing what I've done, I really reduced the stuff that everyone could do few hours before we actually entered into the lockdown. So instead of firing them, I had them on, and then luckily the furlough scheme came in, so that's really saved all of them. During the furlough scheme, that was a very tough period as well, because I could see there was a bit of a frustration going on, and it was like longer we went, we still didn't know. So what I created was like a weekly 11 o'clock meeting. So every Wednesday we sat here on the Zoom calls with the whole entire team and tried to work on the various projects of planning what we do when it comes to a new menu, when we come to a new standards, new service, and so on. So that was the thing which we did for like nearly 4 months before a little baby came, and that just kept me even more busier. But then when we came to the end of the tunnel, when we see the bit of a light, so obviously everyone was welcome back, all entire team. I just told them, like, guys, as we had to all go towards the end, because there was a 1 month when the government didn't give us a full-on support. So I had again facing a big decision of only could keep 3 on the payroll and 3 go. And I said, no, I'm not going to do this. We are all on the same boat. And I told everyone, like, guys, what we have to do here, that we have to all go. And the moment the bar reopens, you all come back. And everyone agreed on that. And it was amazing, again, like a team effort, not fighting between each other. And everyone just understood the situation. I got a lot of support from them. So the moment when I announced I'm reopening the bar, rebuilding, reuniting the whole team, everyone just said, yes, I want to come back. So that was, again, amazing thing. And the moment when we found the date that, okay, this is the day we reopened, we really wanted to look into things such as safety and creating an environment which really makes people safe to come out and enjoy they drinks, because this was the biggest fear of many, that they didn't want to go out, and they just were worried that probably the bar is one of the worst places when you can catch the DC. And the last numbers, they show us that it's only 5% that you would be the contamination, which is amazing. That the hospitality in general is really creating a safe place. So I think what government try to do here, it's very wrong that they are cutting us down into closing at 10 o'clock, but we have to follow, and hopefully this just help. And with that, we decided to, as I mentioned, create an environment place that for our guests, to make them feel very safe. So on the next slide, where we worked with our air conditioning company that helped us to build a ventilation. It's called a HVAC ventilation system, which is basically purifying the air. So it's really blowing a pure air into the room, because we're in a basement bar, and that's also creates a feeling that you are not in a safe place, because everyone tried to enjoy outdoors. So with that, we also took a side on outside, which used to be the restaurant's place. So they kindly offer us. So we built a little terrace. So we have now outdoor seating as well, which is I always wanted to have, because I will be pairing. I will be creating a special menu there, which will be dark spirits driven and pairing with cigars and chocolates. And another thing which I found was very useful, that our restaurant already worked with it, and that was a Amos walk-in app. And that's a very smart app that which really helps you to give you an idea of how busy is the bar, instead of showing up. And obviously when we have now the distancing of 1 meter, we're losing few tables, which means we fill up the bar much quicker. And how can we avoid to not let people waiting outside? So this is this Amos walk-in app, which once you download it, you create your profile, and it shows you all the bars, restaurants in a radius of 2 kilometers, which means you can just click reserve a table, like you would show up at the door, but they wouldn't let you in because they are full and have to wait. Instead of waiting outside of the door, you just kind of virtually step in the queue And the moment we got a table available, we just show on the app that we got a table available. And if you've been queuing virtually, you just get a notification that the table is available, and you got within eight minutes, you just walk in and you are ready to be seated. And so this was the first thing that we really wanted to kind of bring in, that people can come back safely, and the place is great to enjoy your drinks. And the next thing was that obviously what we do in the long term for our guests. And the first thing was the quaint home bar, because I remember when I've started noticing that we started having regular guests, that they were coming for particular cocktails. And I always feel bad when I create a new menu and you take off those signatures which were so popular, and your guests come back and no longer can have it. That's on another slide. And then I thought, okay, so guys, what are we going to do? We just bottle these cocktails which are able to be bottled. And once the guests come back, we see the new menu doesn't have its favorite drink on it, then we can have still the option to bring those drinks which were very popular one in a bottled versions. However, with the lockdown, this was all speeded up. So we already launched the bottled cocktails. So we have that program already running since the lockdown, and it's becoming quite popular, considering that there's so many bottled cocktails. But it's great to see that when someone likes some particular drink, it just made the effort and goes for it. And the followed by the next, and this is also we done in the past. I started introducing because we were open Monday till Sunday, and I realized that Sunday was kind of like an industry night. So there was like lots of people that they were day off, so they were coming to the bars. And I thought, I think I could do something more than just have a bar open on a regular Sunday. So I started bringing bartenders. And exactly a year ago at this time, we did a Latino night where all the bartenders from Latin America were in town, because we had a cocktail league. It was the 50 best. So I had guys from Limatur, Florale Atlantico, El Presidente, Argentina, guys from Puerto Rico, from La Factoria, Marcio from that time, from his Guillotina bar, all behind one bar. And it was amazing night. And then I thought, this is something I want to do continuously in the long term. So I'd like to relaunch once it's becoming more and more safe. Because at the moment our Sundays are closed, but the moment the Sundays become open, I like to bring this one back so the bartenders can have like their own Christmas. And so that will be the next one. And moving towards to the Christmas period, I have a massive collection of vintage and rare spirits. So the next plan is to kind of, for those who don't feel still safe to come in, to introduce kind of like an online auction for those vintages that you can have an option to purchase it, whether it's a special occasion or you have something for your Christmas time. This is how we stand right now. So I'm still kind of testing the water. How is it going to all be? Because we just opened last night for the very, very first time after 5 months being closed. It was amazing. Amazing feeling, great support from the industry and from the regulars that they started returning back. So we are still kind of working on how is this going to shape us and where we're ending up. Obviously, moving to next week, there's the London Cocktail Week. So we're partnering up, which is going to be for the whole entire month. So that will be also a great support from that side, that we try to bring the head on street back, because head on street where we're at, it's amazing street full of restaurants. You got a Michelin star next door, the Sabor, and it's a street that you can find so many options where you just go out, eat or drink, and we are just hidden underneath. And I think that's going to be the next recovery, to bring that street back to London and make it as used to be. So I'm really working on this. Is in a very, very long term. This was just a very fresh idea to do like a head on street festival where we would invite all the operators on the street, because street where we are located, it's a pedestrian, which is even better for us to do on the street different things. So the idea is it's very fresh and it's still hot. So do a festival on the street where we would involve every single operator on the streets and create something amazing. And that's from my side. And what will be my message to the industry? It's very straightforward, because we're on a very uncertain times. It's just moving forward is just to be positive, visit your favorite bar or your restaurants and leave a positive comment, because that comment costs you absolutely nothing, but for the operator means a lot, because everyone today is operating or going out to see who is doing what and how. And when you see those positive comments that this place is doing great, it's something which obviously would like to follow. And for us to receive that positive comment is the best thing which we can have. And that's what brings guests back and makes us basically survive. So this is it for me. Thank you.
Thanks, Erik. And I wondered if you would, it doesn't have to be terribly in depth, but just a couple of lines, maybe an overview of what's happening with your other bar in Bratislava.
Oh.
Do you find that it's a similar situation, or it's a bit different?
No, it's exactly the same situation. What happening in Slovakia, in Bratislava, that everything happened about 3 weeks ahead of us. So the whole lockdown came 3 weeks earlier than here. So the bars closed down. It's normal. Some got a support from landlord. We are still dealing with the landlord. What we're going to do about that period where we were closed. And then when we reopened, there was a lot of safety measures. Good thing was that when the bar reopened, we're in the heart of Bratislava on the main square. The bar Antique has about 15 seats. However, outside we could create, or we normally would have 60 seats. So that was the good thing about it. So we could stretch the whole street out. So we had a big terrace, and that's really saved us, that we could operate from outdoors. And that was the only way that people felt safe to go. And then a few weeks later, the measures becoming much more softer, that people could go inside. So the bar came back, literally recovered on the numbers as you would do last year, which was a great thing. But again, the second wave came in already 2 weeks ago. So they have our closing time now, it has to be closed at 11 o'clock. So up until now, the weather was still good, so people enjoyed it outdoors. But now it's getting the weather a little bit autumnish, and Slovakians then don't like really a rain. So once it's rain, they just like stay at home and just don't go out. So now we're feeling that they're closing too early. It's not what really help us, because we have very few seats, and closing earlier it's challenging. So what we're always prepared for that. That winter was always like that. It just started a little bit too early because of the closing time. Because winter, we were always operating on that 15 seat inside. But a good thing, the bar has been open now 3 years, so it's built a good amount of regulars. Like we have a few guys. They're coming like 5 times a week, and I was like, I can't understand how can you go to a bar 5 times a week. So this is amazing that we got the good support from the local audience. That obviously there are very little tourists, because we were quite a good location for that as well. But at the moment we are starting slightly struggling. But I'm really hoping that we're going to go through that, and the bar is going to make it up.
Thanks, Erik. I loved your approach of taking care of the staff, and something I've really admired the way both you and Deano have been discussing this is that there is a united front, I would say, in terms of, bars that are in that sort of peer group for you and Deano, that everyone is sort of sharing information. I know Alex and Monica are part of that as well. There's so many bars that are just trying to work together as being a united front, especially with regulations that are coming out now that it really have the chance to hurt your businesses even further. So, thank you for sharing everything with us and being so raw and candid about what's happening in Slovakia as well. And hopefully things will get a little bit easier. But for everybody tuning in, it's important to know that we call this Bar Recovery Europe, but there are no two places that are going through the same thing. So what happens in the UK and what happens in Slovakia or Spain or France, Netherlands, it's all very, very different. Yes, so thank you, Erik.
No, pleasure. Thank you very much.
And so I think we're heading to Madrid now to chat with Melanie and Diego. So I'm going to share your screen, share my screen really, of your creation. And then I'll go on mute and then just let me know when you'd like me to change your slides.
Okay, I think we're ready to. Can everybody hear us? Yes. Yes, okay, let's start.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So you can just go to the next one, it's fine, to the next slides. Okay, I'm just gonna watch it from my computer because in the mobile phone it's really small. So what we did was to separate all the slices for 4 months each. So you actually can understand our plans, what is already going on, but also what are we going to do in the future. So the first slice starts with the May, June, July, and August. So it's all that has been happening since we opened. I know we wanted to focus more on the future, but we've got a few points that they're really useful and they're really interesting things that we've been doing even during lockdown. And we wanted to share it because maybe some people are still in lockdown. So they're very good ideas we did, and we're still going on those. So the first point is YouTube channel, reaching more people around the world. So this idea started while lockdown actually, because we wanted to connect to people all around the world. We actually realized we were all, in our places without much communication. So we wanted to open that, to change that a little bit. So we started doing some interviews with colleagues, also with really reference people around the world to talk a little bit about what's happening around the world, because it's not the same if you see on the news when you talk directly with people. So we did some interviews, a little bit of cooking, a little bit of fun. We just wanted to reach people all around the world. And the good thing is we just keep adding stuff in the YouTube channel. Like it's forever. We're gonna use in the future. Maybe when we've got a guest bartender in the future, we're gonna do a interview at the bar, share information, and we just put it there so everyone around the world can see it. Okay. So the second point, which is the new tasting, you can just play the video, Lauren, when you're ready. So there you can actually see the lab. There you go. So what we're trying to do with this, it's while lockdown, we had the opportunity or the ideas to start a new menu because we have this free time. So we just connect all the team to get ideas, to creativity, and we actually tested when the restrictions were more flexible. We actually went to the lab and doing some tasting. So hopefully the menu will be on soon. And it's an idea that actually we got during quarantine. Okay. Then website consolidation between cocktail bars in Madrid. This is also something that we got just after we opened the bars. We wanted to connect all the cocktail bars in Madrid, like as a help for everyone here. We actually created this website that you can actually see down there. It's bestcocktailbarsinmadrid.com. So if you go there, you actually find like a route to go all around the best cocktail bars in Madrid. It's really helpful for all the industry here. Like we can grow up with that. We can help each other with that. Then new rules adapting to the bar staff and the new normality. So for this point, we were open already, of course. So for this time, we opened and we actually changed the full protocol, the full service protocol, because we have to adapt ourselves to the new rules. So it was a little bit complicated, really challenging. But what we always want to do is to make sure everyone is safe, talking about customers, but also talking about the staff. So we're actually following some new rules, some from the government, but we also add some from ourselves. Everyone's wearing masks. You have to be separated table by table. We actually took a few tables off because the Salmon Brew is really small. So you sanitize your hands every time. We've got one person sanitize the full place every 30 minutes. So customers actually see we're doing something, we're doing clean stuff, we're following the rules, and we're actually doing more. So it's just to make people safe, and they come back. If you go to a place and you actually feel safe, you feel everything is on point, everything is following the rules, you actually go back, because we're having this trouble with all the pandemic. So as safer as better, that's what we think. It was challenging, but we're taking it fine. We're doing it, so it's already in our day-to-day, so it's good stuff to do. And one point, which was like the most important one, was the menu. So it's it's the fifth point you see there. You actually can scan it. The QR code for the menu was imposed by the government, but we actually wanted to do something more fun, something more like Salmon Guru philosophy. So if you scan it, you can realize it's like online shopping. So you get in and you've got all the menu there, and you can actually select your items. And then after you select your items, you send them, and we get it in our computer. So if you go there, you got it, right? Yes. If you go to the app, you don't want to talk to any waitress because you're afraid or anything, you can just do it all on your own. So we started with that. I think it's fun. People were a little bit confusing at the beginning, but now they're getting used to, I think, and they also think that it's kind of fun. Also, if you go down to the app, you'll find the online store. I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes. And okay, that should be there.
The next menu.
Pero eso lo vemos más adelante. We've got something also going on with the QR code. It's a 3D augmented menu, which is gonna be crazy, but we're gonna talk about that later. Okay, then the Harmony special and unique menu. For this one, it's a little tricky to explain. So this is a special menu that we put on Salmon Guru a few months we opened. Actually started at the lab, because the lab, it's a place where we actually create stuff. It's a place where we develop our creativity, and then we put it, we played those stuff that we actually started here. We put it in the other bars in Salmon Guru and Viva Madrid. So this Harmony was something to engage people and also increase the sales. But first of all, to engage people, because we call it Harmony, because it's actually a harmony between kitchen, bar, and service protocol. So if you actually do a reservation for an Harmony menu at Salmon Guru, you're gonna be the only people that are gonna try that menu, because we do it for you, just especially for that table. And it's actually something really engagement, because if you are around at Salmon Guru just having cocktails as a normal day, and you see that table super special with all the attention, bartenders go out, the chef goes out too, you actually get interesting. And that's how we get even more reservations for this menu, because people see and say, oh my God, that's kind of fun. Let's see what they're doing. So it was a point we wanted to add in Salmon Guru to engage more people for all these economic troubles we're having. And it's been working really well. We actually have about 5 bookings for this menu per week, which is really good. And yeah, that's the main idea. We started here in the lab, and we had the opportunity to bring it to Salmon Guru, because actually the lab is closed for customers right now. So we're just using it for creativity right now. Okay, as I said before, we also have the online store, and we had this Salmon is Word. So this Salmon is Word means it's a word that we want to refer for people that has this feeling of belonging to the bar without being a staff, or you could be anybody. You could be a customer, you could be a brand ambassador, you could be anything, but you actually feel that you belong to the bar, to our family. So that's why we create this online store, and we can find hats, you can find socks, jackets with all the logos. They're really fun. They're really cool items. And this is you've got to like, for us, it's good for two things. The first, it's increase our sales, of course. Everyone's looking at this moment. But also, we like these people to feel a part of the family. And it's been really fun because actually people get the jackets. They're unique for each person that gets the jacket, and they actually travel around the world, take pictures, and then send it to us. And we feel really good about it. Even more, it's more about the meaning than the money, but it's still good for both sizes. And you can go next, Lauren.
I speak about the Salmonist, no? It's a movement.
It's like a group of people that actually feel part of something. In this case, our philosophy and our family. This is pretty much what it is. Okay, then changing the food menu. We adapted to the new situations. So here in Madrid, I don't know if that happens all around the world, but here in Madrid, we realized that customers stay for longer in the places they were, even if it's a restaurant or a cocktail bar or anything, they stay there for longer because you feel safe if you're not moving around. You know, before you go to a restaurant, then to a bar, then to another bar, then to another bar. But now it's not working like that. We think people are staying longer just to feel safe because they're already there. They don't want to move. So what we wanted to do is just to give people the chance to stay at the bar also for dinner, because we already had food menu, but there were tapas, sharing food. So we wanted to do like a bigger offer of solid gastronomy. So people actually had the opportunity to stay at the bar, having a dinner for vegetarian, vegans. If you like a light dinner, you can have it. If you like a strong dinner, you can have it too. So we give customers that opportunity, and it's been working really great for us. So we've got tables that stay maybe 3-4 hours, eating and drinking all the time, which is it's really good for us. It's something really we studied the customers, and we had this idea, and it's working properly. So I think maybe people can try that in the bars too. Then cocktail to go, changing the rules. Okay, this point, this whole trend with the cocktail to go, takeaway cocktails, it's been on all around the world, and we actually wanted to do it since we were locked down. But I don't know in other countries, but here in Madrid, in Spain, it's not legal to sell alcohol at the bar. So we didn't want to take that risk, but we are actually working on changing that rule. So we want to go from the bottom of the problem, which is not being legal, selling alcohol, and we're actually working on it. And Diego is going to talk about that later on. Okay, we're opening the Guru Lab, sustainability. So the Guru Lab, it's closed right now. We're still working here just to do some creativity stuff, as I said before, but it's closed for customers. We're thinking maybe for November, December, it should be open for customers only at 2 days a week, just to get the attention of more people. But this time, we like to focus in sustainability because we actually got all the machines that we can actually use to don't have waste. That's a point very important that we want to achieve for at the end of this year or next year. We actually have all the machines to take advantage of them and reuse, giving like second or third life to products, being fruit or spirits or anything we use. We just wanted to have zero waste. And that's one of the points, which is it's hard to do because it takes time, but after you're there, I think you actually save money and you actually save doing something good for the world and for the environment. Okay, now you can play the video. It's just showing a little bit the bar. New cocktail menu innovations and engage. There you go. So for this time, there you go. We're doing some taste. We actually like to get the menu on for the next month. Hopefully, it's going to be on that for this time. It's going to be really innovation stuff.
Oh, we lost you. Are you there? Can you hear us, Melanie and Diego? Hello? Hello? We can't hear you. Can you hear them? No. Oh, We cannot hear you. I don't know that they can see. Shall I kickstart the Yes, I think so. Okay, Melanie and Diego, if you can hear us, we can't hear you, so we have to
Can
stop.
we mute them for now?
Can you hear them? No, you can't, right? Okay, I'm just going to mute then. Okay, Tess, I think you're going to be up now. Okay.
All right. Cool. So I'm going to try and keep it nice and brief, but also interesting. Yes, there it is. Perfect. All right. So yeah, let's hit it off. So in the Netherlands, Amsterdam, where I'm based, and where our two bars are based, we went into lockdown on the 16th of March. June 1st, we were able to open again, and we were able to open regular hours with, of course, a couple of regulations. So there needed to be 1.5 meters per table, reservation only, sitting only, all sorts. So we made sure we kept everything safe. That was the most importantly. But before we started in the recovery plan, which in my presentation starts in Q1 in June, so that was when we were allowed to open again, there was the lockdown period. And in the lockdown period, we did all sorts of things because, March 16th, we were closed. And we were supposed to open our new bar, Dutch Kurt, where I'm at now, the 21st of April. So it was shitty timing. But we, curveballs are thrown and we have to deal with them. So in the lockdown period, we went to the drawing board and tried to come up with a game plan to be able to make revenue, to cover costs, to keep both bars afloat, but most importantly, to keep all our staff. And thank God, I'm knocking on fake wood at the moment, but thank God, till now we were able to keep everybody on payroll. But it's stressful and it's difficult. So overall, 4 things that are making up our game plan are: first, safety. So being in line with rules and regulations from the government, from the city of Amsterdam, but also to have people feel safe. I think that's something that in whatever part of the world you are, there are regulations and we have to jump through the hoops that are our reality at the moment. But another thing with it is that people don't really feel safe to go to bars at the moment, at least in the Netherlands. So once they go out, they feel more safe to visit a restaurant or a terrace outside than to go to a bar. So we need to make them feel as safe as possible and to convince them that it is actually safe to visit us. So what we do is it's a little thing. So have a chat, keep the distance. On every table you find a little bottle of hand sanitizer. We do, everything to try and give them a safe feeling. This includes also having a change of a different concept of a menu. Not so sustainable at the moment, but we do have single-use menus. No QR codes. Reason behind this is because I myself always try and find or try to kind of escape in a bar or in hospitality overall, and escape from the digital world. And especially nowadays with the lockdowns and the working from home, everything is digital. We're in 1,000 Zoom calls per day and emails back and forth, WhatsApps back and forth. So whenever I'm outside, I try to be as less digital as possible. So the QR code and then having to be on your phone again, sitting at a table with somebody you want to have interaction with and face-to-face contact with, I opt for a paper, a single-use, less sustainable menu than a QR code. But both are very, very good options, I think. It's the concept of your bar and your belief in the bar. So safety for the guests, how they feel, but also for our bartenders, obviously. The second reasoning in our game plan is to build a community. To involve our guests, our regulars, but also people who are not able to visit us because of travel restrictions. but also to involve our staff, our team. So to keep the team together and to inspire and bring some positive and some challenge to them, positive challenge. A third is marketing, promotion. If we can't make any money, at least get our name out there, spread the word and let people know that we're still standing, we're still fighting, and we're still very much game the moment we are allowed to be game again. So a lot of the things we're gonna discuss in a bit is of marketing and promotional value, and not per se translating in direct revenue. But in the long run, like Deano also does, it's a lot are negative things at the moment, but we do keep a positive long-term view. So I do believe that we're gonna come out of this. I don't know how deep we have to go, but one thing is for sure, we're gonna be standing. And once we do these kind of things that we're doing right now that maybe don't generate immediate revenue, they will make sure that in the end that people will come back and will get the revenue in the end. Yeah, and then the fourth on that revenue, and it's also one of the main important ones, is to side hustle. So money is tight. There are rules and regulations thrown our way that one-on-one immediately have a negative influence on our revenue. For instance, the 1.5 meter rule. Like for the people who haven't been to Amsterdam and haven't visited our bars, there are 45 square meters. We have, including the bar stations, we have a 30 seat spot. If it's a Friday night, it's pushing and shoving like you're entering a Japanese train. So it's tight and people are packed and it's nice and cozy and it's fun on a Friday, and it's sit down and chill on a Tuesday, but it's always busy. And the 1.5 meter rule meant that immediately we had to, like, the max revenue we could generate was already 60% of normal. And that's taking into account that people actually visit us from opening to start, which they don't, because people are still afraid to go to bars, but also because it's Amsterdam, and Amsterdam is based and built on, well, there's tourists. So there is too much hospitality for the Dutch inhabitant, because normally we cater to a lot of tourists as well, and they're not here. So the amount of people and guests visiting, we have to spread them out over all the hospitality. Then a lot of them go to restaurants, preferably to than to bars, because they feel a bit more safe there. So the amount of guests is reduced. The amount of people that you can put into your bar on the peak moments is reduced. So the 100% revenue you're not able to make. And then there's now we have a curfew, so it's even worse, because now our amount of hours of selling hours are cut. So side hustle is a big thing, and that's something we started doing in the lockdown, and it's something that we're continuing now, because we need the extra revenue to be able to keep the entire team and to give them the hours to be able to pay their rents and everything. So yes, yeah, the overall thing with the side hustle is that it's hustling. We have a lot of eggs, we're putting them in a lot of different baskets, and we just hope and see what takes off. Also because we don't know what kind of curveball the government is throwing our way tomorrow or next week, and what's allowed now, but maybe not tomorrow. So we're spreading our opportunities, we're spreading our windows of generating revenue to keep the boats afloat. So, yeah, so one of the game plans we started doing was very much linked to our new bar, because yeah, opening a new bar in Corona times, you have to be crazy. We needed a bit of Dutch courage, which happened to already be the name of the bar, so it was good. It was a good coincidence. But a lot of people think it's very courageous to start a bar in Corona times. Well, it was already set in stone. So we signed the deal in December, so it was happening if we wanted or not. So let's make the best of it. This includes trying to solve a bit of the tourist problem. There are no tourists. We're located city center, so we're hit the hardest of the non-tourists being here. So we need the neighbors, and we need friendly restaurants to refer us, and we need the Lorincz in the world to come visit us, which he does. But like to get a bit of on the good side of our neighborhood, and we spread it kind of like yeah, neighborhood invites. So they're inviting people to come be our friends, to have a drink on the house for 2 people. One, because it's no fun to come alone, so we invite you by the 2. And also we hope that people, if they get a free drink on the house, that they'll stick around and order at least 1 more and maybe 2. So then it translates into being a big discount instead of giving drinks away for free. Also, they are dated, but they're dated by hand. So we spread them in the neighborhood, but yeah, we divide them. So first up, wave number 1, the ones that can maybe generate the most promotion for us. Then second, neighbors that we need to be on the good side with. And there is a kind of like a game plan, but it's more of, yeah, come have a look, like us, and refer people to us. Then more for Flying Dutchman, the bar that already existed. The moment we went into lockdown, it was time to work on a plan that was already in our minds for a long time. So my business partner is Timo Jansen, a very capable bartender himself. And the 2 of us, we do a lot of side jobs. So we have multiple businesses together, but also I write. So I have, sorry, there's an alarm going off. Happily, thankfully not with us. But and it's gone. So I write books. So books you can sell. Obviously, I also have a set of bar tools which we sell. Timo owns his own line of cocktail cherries, and together we started making cocktail packages through Flying Dutchman. Also, again, to being able to keep the staff and to keep them a bit busy. So we rebuilt the bar into a production center. Nowadays, we kind of transformed it back because it needs to be an operating bar. But since there is a 1.5 meter rule per table, we do have some spare space to keep a bit of the production going. So all this could come together and be sold. So I built a website. There was no money, so we had to do it ourselves. So it was me and a lot of YouTube videos, and eventually we had a website with a web shop. But also in the bar, they are for sale. We collaborated or started collaborating with delivery partners, so Deliveroo and Uber Eats. So we also sell the bar tools and the books and everything you need to start making cocktails at home through those partners. So yeah, spreading the word of what's for sale. But also what we do now, which is more important after reopening, so really the first period is promoting our cocktail of the week and doing delivery collaborations. So making it a bit more interesting to talk about them on social media. An important thing with everything you do is if you don't tell people yourself, they're not gonna know and they're not gonna buy it. So use your social media accounts, even if for yourself it feels like you've told the world already 5 times and it feels like enough and you don't want to be spamming them. It's still not enough because a lot of people won't see your post or will forget about it. And then if they see it again, they're like, oh yeah, they did cocktail packages. Cool. Yeah, I'm looking for a gift for my aunt. Let's send her a cocktail package. So keep telling the story and also ask your staff to share if they're willing. So spread the word and make it interesting to spread the word. So delivery collaborations we, for instance, did is with brands, which is an obvious one. So in exchange for promoting brand X, we got a couple of sponsored bottles to reduce our costs of producing the packages. But another collaboration, for instance, was with a sock company, which is kind of weird maybe, but the sock company has very nice printed socks. One of them was with cocktail glasses. So they gave us a box of 100 socks of the cocktail glasses. We distributed them for free in the first 100 orders we got. It was a nice surprise for our guests, and the cocktail company promoted it through their accounts, which for us enabled it to reach more people than we would normally don't reach because they don't follow us yet. So it's searching for collaborations outside of the bar industry that might add an additional value to what you're doing and what you're trying to reach. Cocktail of the week, yeah, we've always done them. It's a great way of getting rid of overstock of if you're doing guest shifts or anything. There's always a weird syrup that you don't use on your menu that doesn't move quick enough, so you can make it disappear in a cocktail of the week. And it makes it interesting for your staff to create something with it. it gives us an extra excuse to promote them, to tag into nice things that are going around. If it's a celebration or anything, and on birthday, we can tag into it. Then yeah, together for me it's kind of like the same if it's delivery or to go, but we do both. And we also do postal service, that's the cocktail packages, but a to go focus. So I've already said 1.5 meters per table, so less seats in the house that we can fill. So we're faster a full house, we're faster filled. And because it's Amsterdam and Dutch use only, it's a lot of the peak moments on Friday, Saturday nights. So it's a reduced amount of selling hours, it's a reduced amount of seats you can fill. So on those moments that it might be busy, make the most of it. So if you're full and people come to the door and want to sit, sell them a to go. So it's very much a shift of focus on to go packages. Have them prepped, have them ready, and don't miss those opportunities. Another thing is the community. So Flying Dutchman, especially, is very much a late night bar. It used to be open every day till 4 until last Sunday. Unfortunately, we have a curfew, a midnight curfew now. But we are an after work hangout bar where the community of bartenders gather, where they have a drink. And we wanted to welcome them back. So we did a collaboration with Fernet. So every time they sponsored a couple of bottles, and every time bartenders said like, oh yeah, I just came from work, they got a free shot of Fernet, the bartender's handshake, or a non-alcoholic shot of Acorn, which is actually a very nice shot, I must say. So to give a bit of love back to the community. The same community, we were trying to do cross-bar collaborations, which we were continuing. So the Waldorf Astoria Hotel, for instance, they for 2 weeks they featured a couple of our cocktail recipes, and we made noise about them in our cocktail of the weeks. So to pinpoint people like, hey, you're at our bar now, we love it, thank you for coming. But there's this other bar at the Waldorf, they're doing very cool things, and maybe you want to check it out tomorrow or after this, because people like to bar hop, and they still do. So refer them to other bars that you want to help out. And just instead of them wandering around and ending up in a restaurant, send them to another neighborhood bar. Yeah, tagging along on the community is for the next period. We haven't handed them out yet, but they're ready at my home. There's a picture later on. Friend and family discount cards. So I'm always very on two sides if it comes to discounts. And we're in the business of making money. We need money. We need revenue to cover our costs. But a bit of discount along the way can help because multiple reasons. So it's the side note is be careful with your discounts. Don't give them indefinitely to everybody. So how we do it, for instance, with the discount cards, it is a plastic credit card with a 20% discount for friends and family. And family is bar family. So for instance, if there's a person that might become a regular or is already a regular, we give him a card like this. And it gives us 20% discount on his drinks. So it's only the drinks of the regular guest. But people never come alone, or almost never. So they will bring other people. They'll see the card in their wallet, like, oh yeah, Dutch Courage, that was a nice place, let's go again. And they'll bring other people who don't get the discount, which is fine because yeah, he gets the discount or she. So use it as a tool to reward people who have been loyal to your bar, also to people you want to come to your bar, your focus groups. So for instance, at Dutch Courage, we're in a very nice neighborhood street with a couple of very old traditional Dutch bars. So the bartenders there, we're giving a card. So if they're off, they can come and have a bit of a discounted drink on us, just to build that community a bit. But important side note here is don't give the discounts to everybody.
Tess, just to interrupt for a sec, we only have 5 minutes left, so you might have to zip through, but everyone will have access to these slides as well, but just to give you a heads up.
Yeah, perfect. Right, this is also very good because these are less vague, like more vague plans, because we don't know what the next couple of months are bringing, but it's just to inspire you to think a bit more about what are opportunities. Amsterdam Cocktail Week. Well, it's a week where the cocktail is celebrated. Focus is consumers to spread the word. Hey, there are cocktail bars, and we need your support. And cocktails are cool and nice. And so it's a bit of an extra promotion for the entire community. Purpose of Bar Show is an industry event, which is going to be a very different format this year, but we are still continuing it in November. So to get a bit of positive attitude back into the industry. What we're also working on now is hosting staff events for local businesses and communities. Pata is a very cool streetwear brand, so we're going to host monthly staff parties for them here. MBC is the Dutch IBA, which is the Nederlandse Bartender Club, Dutch Bartender Association. So every month we're going to organize Friday night drinks, but then on Monday had a bartenders weekend. So we're trying to get groups to use our facilities to come more regularly. So next slide, please. Yes. All right. So very quick remarks on pictures. Those are the socks. Then a picture of our cocktail packages. We ship them every week. We also sell subscriptions. They're 35 euros for a subscription, and you get a cocktail package with 3 surprise cocktails every other week. Or you do it once, and it says 1875 for a surprise box with 3 cocktails by mail, including all the costs. A picture of our discount cards, the family and friend cards, the invites, the web shop, and another picture of the web shop. So next slide. Perfect. All right, so we already discussed it a bit, but try to tag along on themes, on holidays. Christmas is coming, so what are we doing for Christmas? And so we're gonna make it nicely and themed. But also we're gonna extend our Zoom workshops. We're already doing it a little bit, but we're gonna promote it a bit more. Think about businesses. People are working from home, but giving something back to your staff will be even more important than ever. So you wanna build that group dynamic and reward your staff also in all different sorts of businesses. So by tagging on to the businesses and organizing Zoom workshops where we send tasting packages or cocktail workshop packages through their staff members, and then we host from the bar a workshop where they can do it themselves at home and finish up with a Friday night drinks together. Those are kind of things we're gonna roll out more and more through over the holiday season. Same for consumers. We make it able to book workshops as for consumers to give away for the holidays. But again, also we have the books and we have the bar sets. So if you want a signature on them and a private message, we got you. We're collaborating B2B with Deliveroo, which we're going to enroll. So it's also a bit more focused on workshops, tagging along with good chefs. So we're sending workshop boxes to people to their houses, and then through a Zoom call, we're gonna do a workshop together with the chef. So the chef will cook, the people will follow, and we'll serve the food paired cocktails with them. Dry January, New Year, hopefully bringing us more love and joy than this one will. But Dry January is a thing, it's growing, and the non-alc spirit market is booming with a lot of cool Dutch products as well. Well, we're Dutch Courage, Flying Dutchman, so let's make it our little concept version of Dry January and promote a bit of non-alc signature serves from the bars. Again, marketing and media value. Keep looking at brand collaborations. Look beyond only the spirit brands, but also think about maybe a sneaker brand, or there's always something to tag along with. Team trainings. Since the lockdown, we have weekly team trainings. We give the staff little tasks to look into. So we have this huge Google Drive with an ever-growing deck of data. We're working on all the background info of our 800 bottle back bar from Flying Dutchman and our 350 Geneva bar here. Once it all finalizes, we're going to make it a nice overview and share it with the world, so everybody has the info we worked on. And then hopefully, we're almost out of this mess. There is a vaccine and we're good to go again. And that will be hopefully the time I'm going to launch my third book, Dutch Courage, The Story of Geneva. And I'll be able to travel the world again to promote it and give all of you little nice tastes of Geneva. That's our quite positive game plan.
Tess, you're so positive. Everyone's like, I think there's so much happening, and I know had we not given you a time limit, you would have talked for 4 hours about all the things that you're trying to do to keep the businesses going. And you know what, again, what happens in the Netherlands is so different than every other country. And so thank you for sharing even just the smallest slice of your business pie with us. I think it's been amazing to see. I know Diego and Mel were cut off, but they were right on the last part of their slide. But the slides are available for everybody, and I know we're really running out of time. So Diego's very sad. But what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to give everybody the opportunity to talk their last piece of advice. And I know that we already heard from Deano and Erik. And Tess, if you want to just give us your rendition or what your quote means to you and how people can contact you. And then we'll wrap up with Diego and Melanie on their quotes. And then that is it.
Yes. All right. So yeah, it says, think positive and create your own perfect bubble. The world is I want to say shit show, but it's it's a difficult world out there at the moment, and it's very uncertain and weird. So try and not let it get to you too much. Try to think positive, because it will transform the positive around you. But also try not to please everyone, because you're not a damn Moscow mule. There's going to be you're going to be hit from all sides with all sorts of difficult curveballs. So let's just keep the heads high and try to meet each other at the end of the tunnel.
Thank you, Tess. Diego and Mel, did you want to have a mention here of your quotes?
Yes, I'm just going to leave Diego to do it.
Please, I need to talk. I am Argentine. I need to talk, please. Okay, for me, the crisis is the best time to be different. It's a short message, but it's very important. You need just to do it. Don't think, do it.
Diego, you're right. It's taking risks, and you're doing so many innovative things and it's showing, and can't wait to share the slides with everybody as well. Melanie, did you have something you wanted to mention?
Yeah, it's just that we think our philosophy is just try to risk all the time, take risks all the time. So even during crisis, we think it's the best time to do it, even if it's harder, even if it gets everything complicated and you don't even see what's going on. You just have to do it. Otherwise, maybe tomorrow the bar is closed. You don't know. So just do it today, do it now. And that's the advice. Even if we do it in a pandemic, we'll survive this, definitely. Thanks, everyone.
Indeed. And Erik and Deano, any final thoughts before we wrap up?
I'm just trying to activate my microphone, so I think I'm back on. Yeah, I think Diego said it very, very nicely. This is a time to be different and just go ahead. And I think I can only agree with that. And I'm hoping with that we can do it differently, because we're in an industry who is so creative, and we always find a way. No matter how they're going to stop us, we always find a way and make it work and make people happy. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I think that the way that I look at it is very much as Diego said, and Erik has just mentioned, and Tess as well, is that I think every challenge that you face is an opportunity for you to be creative and think of a way to actually pivot your business. What are we going to do if the bars close earlier? How are you going to make those hours back up? Do you open earlier? Do you put on a special brunch menu? Do you open a day early? Whatever it may be, you can find a way to get around it. You just have to pivot and be creative. And that's the way that we're going to get beyond this. But it's not every bad situation isn't bad. You can make it good. Turn it around.
Thanks, Deano. Always finding the silver lining, and the contact information was up there, but again, we'll share the slides. We really want a huge thank you to Diego, Melanie, to Erik, Deano, and Tess for spending time and sharing such a raw part of what they're going through right now with their businesses, and hopefully it inspires everybody tuning in to make some changes, take some risks, be innovative, you know, make the change. And the last thing that I wanted to say, sort of on a personal standpoint, protect your family, protect your bar family. All of us are in this together, and you know, everybody on this call are family, are friends. We have so many people around the world that are looking to us for the next steps. Create inclusive, safe spaces for people to be part of your world, whether that's from guests to staff or otherwise. And yeah, non-negotiables. Make sure that people are communicating with the language that they are supposed to be using, that they're being sweet, that they're championing you, that you can be safe and operate in your world. And big love to everybody, and enjoy the rest of your Tales of the Cocktail.
Bye, everyone.